Well, as it's always said that a bad beginning makes a good ending, it looks like Erik ten Hag is in line with that saying by the Englishman because it is really happening on his side. Looked like a bad season, started losing 2 games against Brighton and Brentford and had lots of injuries, but looks like most of the players that have been injured are coming back into the final bend of the season, something that is so much good for Erik ten Hag and could really keep him into a very good season at Manchester United. Welcome to United Matters channel, guys. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Today is a Saturday. Yesterday was Good Friday and obviously tomorrow is Easter. So guys, smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Some Rashford updates and obviously talking a little bit of the game today that's going to be played at Old Trafford in the next 2 or 3 hours from now, and you're going to be live here doing what we call the match day live. Then we come back with the match reaction and then how it happened and sum up the entire match with what we call the player ratings. And I hope you guys enjoy all those segments. Now Garnacho was injured in the game of Southampton. In the same game, United saw Casemiro red carded, and when Casemiro was red carded, lots of things were really said for the red card. Seen Erik ten Hag coming out and really saying that the referees have been unfair onto Manchester United, and it goes down to what we call us not being ready. You know, that one game that Casemiro got a red card wouldn't have gone ahead to cost us very many games, because remember, when Casemiro got a red card in the game of Southampton, he never played in the game of Newcastle. We lost to that. So that means those 2 games, if at all he had a competent CDM, even if Casemiro was away, and that CDM come on through at Old Trafford, would have gone ahead to win that game of football. Even now at Newcastle, if you had a competent CDM, you know, dictating play into the deep areas of the midfield, guys would have gone ahead to win that game. So it shows you that it's an early signal to Erik ten Hag that we should prioritize signing a CDM or a Casemiro backup ahead of any player that he really wants. I know he really wants a centre forward and very many others, but I think we should prioritize signing what we call CDM. That's it. So Garnacho, Kyle Walker-Peters went in for what we call a Caesar tackle, and it was from the behind, so it left him injured, and Garnacho just found himself out of the game, and he missed out onto the international games that Argentina were playing that saw Messi score where they 5 goals into that beautiful game of football, and so he's really one of those players that are going to hit 100 goals, 100 national team career goals. That is Lionel Messi. Now Erik ten Hag is going to give us an update about Garnacho, that I think he's in the final stages, but I don't want to bring so much pressure on the medical team and Garnacho to set a date when to be back. So ten Hag doesn't want to set a date for Garnacho to be back, but the big fact is Garnacho is in the final stages of his return, and that is really great in a scenario where Eriksen is back, Martial is back. Sorry about that. Eriksen is back, Martial is back, you know. If Garnacho comes back like 2 weeks from now, I've even seen Donny van der Beek, you know, trying to really do some gym work and kick the ball, meaning that they are just trying to get the knee used to kicking the ball. And I think I think at the beginning of May, Donny van Beek is going to be available, meaning that Ten Hag is going to be having a very fully fit squad in the remaining games that we're really going to play. And I think the only game we are playing without Casemiro in the Premier League is that of Everton today. And if at all we really win it, that means Casemiro is going to return on Thursday to play in the UEFA Europa League's quarterfinal, and then travel with him to Nottingham Forest on Sunday as we take on a team that plays that side. So I believe it's really something great for the team of Manchester United, and Erik ten Hag is finally going to be a happy man. You know what it means when you're having a fully fit squad, you know, having your lineup, knowing that De Gea, Bissaka, all Dalot, Luke Shaw, all Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Casemiro, you know, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Anthony, and Anton Martial leading the line. That is what we call the creme de la creme, or the first 11 of Manchester United, and that's what Erik ten Hag really calls in for, to do the needful and obviously want his players to be fully fit. So that's why in this final bend of the season, with us left with 10 games to go, I see us collecting very many points out of the 30 that we are left with. Remember, we are having 53 points and we are left with 10 games. Now, in those 10 games, we are having Everton today. In those 10 games, we are having Everton today. We are playing Nottingham Forest next Sunday. Then after playing Nottingham Forest, we'll play Tottenham Hotspur away. Then host Aston Villa, play away at Brighton, West Ham away, Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, Bournemouth away, Fulham at home. So it shows you that we are left with 10 games, and I think all these games are winnable. That's it. There is even Chelsea at Old Trafford. So to me, all these games are winnable. You know, if at all you're having our fully fit squad, no team can really beat us. Trust me. No team can really go ahead and really beat us. One will say that you went to Liverpool and you lost 7-0. Guys, you know, the effect of Anton Martial was really there in that game. And Eriksson was away. And I believe at all you're having Eriksson, if you're having Eriksson, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, Martial leading the line, Rashford playing wide left, I think we can really be a threat to any team and obviously cause them havoc. So the return of Alejandro Garnacho will give us more depth into the attacking side of the midfield on the left, because he is really an impact player off the bench. And remember, when he really, before he got injured, Ten Hag told him that you've proven to me that you can come off the bench and make that impact. Now, can you impact the game for the entire 90 minutes? And he gave him that game of West Ham where he played 90 minutes and he scored the second goal. Remember that game was 1-1. Then who leveled the game? Was it, I think it was it Casemiro? And then Alejandro Garnacho scored the second goal, and then Fred scored the third one. So I believe it's a very huge boost for Manchester United, because we need Garnacho. You know, his impact, his fire off the bench is really important as we are really getting ready to play in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, where he might not be, because we are playing them, I think, in 2 weeks' time from now, not so. Next weekend, but one. That's when we are going to play those beautiful games of football. So Garnacho, we are eagerly waiting for you to return to see to it that you make things happen at Old Trafford, as you always done, towards the straightforward end. That's it. Then Erik ten Hag has been vocal about the performance of Marcus Rashford, and he said, very good, but we can talk almost every game about it, and when he's not in the game, like on Sunday, it is not good for us. We have to bring him into the game, but also he has to take responsibility, and so do other players. To me, my call is simple. I would love to see Marcus Rashford, you know, not putting a lot of burden on him that he should score goals for Manchester United. Let it come naturally, you know. I don't want to see him forcing it, you know, like he did in the game of Brentford on Wednesday. You know, that goal came naturally, you know. He never forced it because he just found himself in the best position, and then Sabitzer headed into him and he went in for the roof, you know. That's what I want Rashford to do. I want him to do the easy passes, you know. Let him not be lied to. Let not him lie to himself that he's supposed to go on and beat on or go past 2-3 players at once. No, that's not it. You know, you just have to do it when it's necessary, like he did in the second half and sat down a player of Brentford, you know. But I saw him sometimes having 3 players ahead of him, forcing himself to go through them. I think it's better for sometimes to find an easy pass, then a return pass will come to you, and obviously see most of the body is really disorganized, and then you'll be having some good space. And I think that is just common sense for Marcus Rashford, and I think he shouldn't be forcing these things most of the times, you know. We all know that he operates better when he has a lot of space ahead of him, and when they're tight spaces, you see to it that he wants to force out certain things that aren't into the DNA of his skill set. So to me, it comes down to him forcing things. But I agree, if he's not in the game, sometimes you look ugly. And you know why it's like that? Because Antoine Martial has been away, Casemiro has not been playing, Eriksen has been away. So if at all you're missing close to 4 players, that means everything, all the burden is going to be on Marcus Rashford, because Bruno Fernandes sometimes doesn't rise up to the occasion. But it brings us to a situation of us welcoming back these players. And I think Marcus Rashford, having scored 28 goals this season, you know, I see him really going ahead to fire in more. That's it. If at all you're having Martial, Eriksen, and Casemiro, that is an immediate, that is a confirmed torture for the opponents of Manchester United. Very, 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 very huge. That is an overdose to the opponents of Manchester United, because it just comes out to a scenario that United will be really having all its players available, and when having all our players available, we just create a lot of space for a player known as Marcus Rashford to run through and obviously cause havoc to the team of Manchester United, to the opponents in there for you. So I believe we are a better team. We are a better team with all those players available, and you saw it very well in the game of Man City, and that's the game that Erik ten Hag came ahead and really confirmed or really accepted that he had a fully fit squad just once in his entire season. So you saw Marcus Rashford erupting every time Martial dropped deep, got that ball at the center half, and obviously released a player known as Marcus Rashford. So I think with the return of Casemiro in the next game, Eriksen is in the match squad today, I see lots of things happening to Manchester United. And Rashford, I see Rashford scoring more 12 goals. I see his season coming to an end with 40 goals. You know, on Thursday, I think he's going to score, and he can even put 3 past Sevilla. So I see him as unstoppable. You know, he has been struggling in the absence of Antoine Martial, Casemiro, and Eriksen, and their return just puts him in a better position to score more and more goals. Now, as far as the game of football that we are playing today is concerned, Ten Hag has said Everton are difficult to beat. We have to play our best, and when we don't play to our maximum standards, then you have a problem. We have to avoid that, and we have to be proactive. We have to be onto the front foot, dynamic in creating chances. He's so much hitting the nail. We need to stop this again, because Everton just shocked Chelsea. One will say, but we're not like Chelsea. Yeah, that's it. We aren't like Chelsea, but we are a team that sometimes capitulates, you know. One of the positives I really saw in the game of Brentford that I never mentioned by the match reaction was United starting on the high. From the moment the referee blew the first whistle, we went in for the ball. We fought, we played on the front foot, we maintained the high line, you know, we attacked them. The only thing we lacked was a sense of composure and more line-breaking passes in front of goal. That's it. But we were a team that had that hunger of really winning and lifting up ourselves to the next level. So I find it so much important for the club of Manchester United to come in through and obviously do the needful and call in for what we call immediate action, being proactive, and obviously having dynamism in our attack. So that's what I had for you. And I'm calling in for your reactions onto what Ten Hag has said about Garnacho being in the final stages of his return. Also about it, I welcome the comment section below. And then Marcus Rashford, do you expect him to erupt more after the return of Casemiro next week? Eriksen is back to Martial and very many others. Then about Everton, what is your prediction? I predicted 3-0 or 4-1 because I believe we are at Old Trafford. The stadium is going to be rocking, and we have everything to really put them to the sword at Old Trafford. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly, and my Muslim friends, Ramadan Kareem.